In the name of God the Almighty, peace to you. Today I will explain why being religious doesn't mean that one is godly. I want to ask everyone who's listening to this message, regardless of what sect or what religion he follows, to go and do some meditation and stay alone for a couple of minutes and forget who he is, who were his parents or her parents, and what religion he follows, everything related to his own faith. And I want him to ask himself if he was born, for example, to parents who follow a different sect or a different religion, would he be what he is now? For example, if you are a Christian, a Protestant, if your parents were Catholic, would you be Protestant or vice versa? If you are Muslim, would because your parents are Muslim, would you be Muslim if your parents were Jews, for example? If you are Jew, would you be Jewish if your parents were Muslims, for example? Ask these questions. If the answer is always no, that means you are not believing it. You are not a believer in God, or you are not a believer in anything related to truth. You don't seek the truth. Rather, you are following blindly what your parents were, because your parents followed that religion. You follow that religion. So you have to. Each and every one of us has to understand that the truth is beyond any type or any religion, any type of faith or religion. God can only be known through logic, mind, observation in nature, understanding science. And once you grasp the existence of God through this method, then you can read whatever religious text you want, and that could reassure you more of your belief. But you should come from a totally free place, from a totally neutral place of seeking the truth. That's how you could come healthily to become a strong believer or someone who really knows what God is. So that's why I'm explaining here why being religious doesn't mean you are godly. Doesn't mean you are godly. As I said, because once you are believing in such way or practicing such religion or practices just because your parents were, that means you are not worshiping God, rather you are worshiping this or that religion, or this prophet or that messenger, or this priest or that school of belief or whatever. Understood the point? Okay. So what godly is? How can you transform yourself from being religious or blindly following some kind of man-made beliefs into someone who understands God and in connection straightforward or directly with God? First of all, spiritually, you have to do your prayers outside the box. That means freely. You come from a total sincerity in heart and mind and communicate with the divine realm, with your creator. When you do this every day, several times or whenever you want, when you feel you can have sincere connection, you train yourself in this, but you have to come from, as I said, sincere place, free totally of what you are saying, not following some such things in the Bible or the Quran or the Torah or whatever. Just keep these things away and communicate freely with your Creator. Imagine that you are standing in front of Him and try to have a conversation, sincere conversation. Train yourself always to do this. This is how you approach God truly and spiritually. And if you are sincere, God will bless you with a Holy Spirit, and then you will become more and more enlightened. This is the way how to be, at the right path spiritually. Now, in the physical realm or the everyday life, how to be godly. To be godly in everyday life, you have, if you want to study something, you study it because you love the field of study, not because you want to earn money out of it, because you want to get a job or something out of it. When you work, you have to do your work perfectly, to be expert in what you are doing, to be mastering the field you are working with. Everything you do, it should come from your heart and sincerely, regardless of the materialistic, the money income out of it. You have to love it. To, for example, do a job and you look at it and you are proud of what you have done, regardless if you got money out of it or not. This is how to be godly in everyday life, in your work, in your studies, in everything you do, even in your relationships, whether it's a friendship. You have to be sincere, you keep your promises, you respect the other being, uh, and that friendship could be with a human, with an animal, with nature, with everything. Just be sincere, be caring, be loving, be kind, and be just. Also in relationship, if you have a partner, you have to be faithful. There is no love when you go cheat on your partner, because you are cheating on him, you are degrading him or her. Regardless if they knew about your affair outside your partnership or not, you will always feel guilty about it. And you will bring someone else into a partnership that should be reigned by love and faithfulness. So love is a blessing of God of any kind of partnership. True love. Don't tell me I'm faithful emotionally, but I have to do some fun outside. This is just lies in order to give yourself excuses. So this is how to be godly in work and study and friendship and relationship in everyday life. However, now with the situation worldwide, as this uh, system, this matrix is collapsing, if the pandemic kept going and there are more problems to come and the economy collapsed, everybody will be in trouble, because we are relying on a long chain in order to get the products we used to use in everyday life. For example, if we lost electricity, we could barely eat, especially if we live in a city, because everything is related to electricity. You have to cook, to microwave, to do whatever. So in the coming years, we have to prepare ourselves, as the sooner the better, for the worst to come. That means, my advice to everyone listening to this message, if you live in a city, leave. If you own the place, sell it. If you are renting a place, leave. Go to the countryside and rent or buy or whatever, and try to have your own, grow your own vegetables, your own food, because this is the way to have safe future for yourself and for your family. You have to be self-sufficient, because you don't know when the economy collapse and you no longer can have what you used to have from supermarkets and from the chains of food you used to rely on and all these things. So with natural disasters around the corner, with pandemics, with all these problems and maybe wars to come, that's the way to keep yourself and your loved ones safe. And this is the way we should always have been doing, or living our lives, because this is the way, the pure way connection with, that remains with the source of everything, God. That means when I grow my own food, it's I'm relying directly just on my Creator. So He will bless whatever I'm planting, whatever I am growing. So I am always safe with my family, regardless of the situation of the entire world around me. So this is my message to you personally, whoever the person listening to this. And if you live in a village or a town, or even in a street, and you know your neighbors well, and you agree all together to live uh, as a one unit for the dark future to come, you have to just pull the money out of the equation totally and live for one another. That means if you are the doctor, for example, you give help to everybody for free. If you are a farmer, you give food to others for free. If you are a teacher, you teach kids for free. So each and every one of us live for one another. We are safe because love is between us. This is God. While if we keep relying on this horrible system, full of greed, full of competition, full of hatred, we will be lost. Whatever the situation of the world, if whenever the situation of the world worsens, through a pandemic, through a natural disaster, through a war, or whatever. So the way I am advising you is the way that you all could be safe, regardless of what the entire situation of the world around you. So this is the rope of God. Hold it firm. That's it from me today. I explained why religion is not necessarily godly. You have to drop all labels. You're no longer Protestant, you're no longer Catholic, you're no longer Anglican, you're no longer Muslim, you're no longer Buddhist, you're no longer Hindu. You are godly. You are connected directly to the source of everything, and you live accordingly, and you are loving your neighbors and whoever live around you. And this is the way you could individually and with your family be safe, and with the society around you too, if they agree on what you agree. This is it from me. Don't follow uh, false hopes and religions that rely on some kind of magician that he will save them. You have to save yourself. You are given mind. You have to be the Jesus of yourself. You only rely on the source of everything, your creator. And this is the way forward if you want to be safe no matter what happens. That's it from me today. I hope people listen, change behavior, pull themselves outside this monetary system, which is with God's will collapse totally. I only hope that people can see the rope of God and get it before they suffer under this horrible system, because God is trying to give you the message through the pandemic. Just pull yourself. He's giving you a last chance to pull yourselves out of this sinking boat. So what are you waiting for? To be erased, or to have a famine? Just open your eyes. God is in love. God is in direct communication with nature, with the source, not in churches or mosques or synagogues or any kind of, what your fathers or forefathers used to worship. This is the way of God. I I think explained it clearly, both spiritually and in everyday life. That's it from me today. Peace to you. Bye.